My name is Rebecca Stone and I'm 35 years old. 5 days ago, my parents stood at my front door, my father holding a bottle of expensive wine, my mother carrying a gift basket, both wearing their best smiles. Rebecca, sweetheart, we haven't seen you in so long, my mother said, trying to hug me. I stepped back. We saw an article about your company, my father added quickly. A $40 million valuation? That's incredible. We're so proud of you. We wanted to celebrate. Celebrate, I repeated flatly. Yes, my mother said. And we were thinking, now that you're so successful, maybe you could use some family support. Your father and I have some savings. We'd love to invest in your company. Be part of your success story. I looked at them standing on my doorstep, offering money and pride after 2 years of silence. 2 years since the day they chose my younger sister's birthday party over my husband's funeral. 2 years since they told me they couldn't attend the burial of the man I'd loved for 10 years because Sarah had been planning her 30th birthday celebration for months, and it would be rude to cancel. 2 years since they'd left me to bury my husband, comfort my 5-year-old daughter, and rebuild our shattered lives completely alone. Now they wanted to be part of my success. Now they wanted to invest in what I'd built, from the ashes of the worst day of my life. Now they wanted to claim family connection when they'd abandoned me when family actually mattered. Get off my property, I said quietly. Before I call security. Before I tell you how my parents' choice on the worst day of my life led to them being permanently cut from the best days of my life, please like and subscribe if you enjoy these stories. I'd love to know where you're watching from. Now let me tell you how grief became fuel, abandonment became motivation, and the daughter they dismissed built something they'll never touch. I met Daniel Stone when I was 23 years old. He was 25, working as a software engineer at a startup, brilliant and kind and everything I'd never thought I'd find. We were both young professionals in Boston, navigating careers and figuring out life. He was patient, funny, made me feel like I could do anything. You're wasting your talent at that corporate job, he'd tell me when I complained about my work as a marketing coordinator at a pharmaceutical company. You could start your own agency. You're better than all those people above you. Starting a business is risky, I'd say. So is spending 40 years working for people less talented than you, he'd counter. I believe in you, Becca. You should believe in yourself. We got married when I was 25. Small wedding, just what we wanted, intimate and perfect. My parents had attended but complained the entire time. Only 70 guests, my mother had said. What will people think? It's our wedding, I'd reminded her. It's about us, not about impressing your friends. Everything you do reflects on this family, my father had added. You should have had a bigger event, something more impressive. That was their way. Everything was about appearances, about impressing others, about maintaining the image of a successful family. My younger sister Sarah, 3 years younger than me, had always been better at playing that game. She was the daughter who did everything right according to their standards. The one who dated appropriate men, joined appropriate clubs, posted appropriate pictures on social media. The one who understood that image mattered more than substance. Daniel and I had our daughter Lily when I was 27. She was perfect, beautiful, the best thing we'd ever created together. My parents visited once in the hospital, took photos with their granddaughter to post on social media, then barely saw her afterward. We're so busy, my mother would say when I invited them to visit. You understand. Maybe we can do dinner in a few months. Those dinners rarely happened. They were always too busy with their country club, their social calendar, their obligations. But they made plenty of time for Sarah. Sarah's promotional dinners, Sarah's birthday celebrations, Sarah's everything. The favoritism had always existed, but it became more obvious after Lily was born. Sarah was their star. I was just the daughter who'd disappointed them by choosing a middle-class life over the wealthy trajectory they'd wanted. When Lily was 3, I finally took Daniel's advice and started my own marketing agency. Small at first, just me and 2 contractors, working from our home office while Daniel worked his full-time job and we juggled childcare. You're doing it, Daniel would say, proud, watching me build something from nothing. I told you you could. The agency grew steadily. By the time Lily was 5, I had 8 employees and 7-figure annual revenue. I'd built something real, something successful, something I was proud of. My parents barely acknowledged it. That's nice, dear, my mother would say when I mentioned landing a major client. Then she'd immediately change the subject to Sarah's latest promotion, or Sarah's new boyfriend, or Sarah's redecorated apartment. The day that changed everything happened on a Tuesday, in October, 2 years ago. Daniel was driving home from work when a truck ran a red light and hit his car. The impact killed him instantly. He was 35 years old. The police called me at 6 p.m. I was making dinner. Lily was drawing at the kitchen table. "Mrs. Stone? This is Officer Martinez. There's been an accident. Your husband Daniel Stone was involved in a collision. I'm very sorry to inform you he didn't survive." The world stopped. Everything stopped. I don't remember the next hours clearly. Calling Daniel's parents, my parents, trying to hold myself together for Lily, who kept asking when Daddy was coming home. Daniel's parents drove up from Connecticut immediately. They were there by 10 p.m., holding me while I cried, helping with Lily, doing what family does in crisis. My parents called the next morning. "Oh, Rebecca, we're so sorry," my mother said. "This is terrible. Just terrible. Can you come?" I asked. "I need you. Lily needs you. The funeral is going to be Saturday." There was a pause, a long pause that should have told me everything. "Saturday?" My father's voice came on. He'd picked up the other line. "This Saturday? As in 4 days from now?" "Yes," I said. The funeral home had availability. Daniel's parents want to do it quickly. They're planning everything. "But I need you there. Please." Another pause. "Rebecca, that's Sarah's birthday?" my mother said. "Her 30th birthday. She's been planning this party for 6 months. We've already RSVP'd. We're hosting part of it at our house." "My husband just died," I said, my voice breaking. "Your son-in-law died. Your granddaughter's father died. And you're worried about a birthday party? It's not just any birthday party," my father said defensively. "It's a milestone. 30 is important. Sarah's invited 50 people. We can't just cancel." "No, Nanayan. I'm not asking you to cancel Sarah's party," I said. "I'm asking you to come to Daniel's funeral." "But they're the same day," my mother said, as if this was an unsolvable problem. "Can't you move the funeral? Maybe do it Sunday or the following weekend. That way everyone can attend both events." "Move the funeral?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "My husband's funeral? So you can go to a birthday party?" "Rebecca, don't be dramatic," my father said. "But Sarah's been planning this for months. People are flying in for it. We've paid deposits on catering, on the venue. We can't just abandon her on her special day." "My husband died," I said. Again, slower, hoping they'd understand the words. "Your granddaughter lost her father. This isn't about convenience or party planning. This is about being there for family when it matters. We are family," my mother said. "Which is why you should understand. Sarah needs us at her party. She's counting on us. She'd be devastated if we missed it. You're strong, Rebecca. You'll be fine. You have Daniel's parents there to support you. Sarah only has us." I hung up. I couldn't listen anymore. I called back an hour later, hoping they'd reconsidered, hoping shock had made them say things they didn't mean. I asked. "About the funeral?" "We have," my father said. "And we've decided we need to be at Sarah's party." "Your mother's right. You have support from Daniel's parents. Sarah needs us there. Her 30th birthday only happens once. We can visit you after, maybe the following week, to pay our respect." "You're choosing a birthday party over your son-in-law's funeral," I said, making sure I understood correctly. "We're choosing to support both our daughters," my mother said. "Just at different times. You'll understand when you're calmer. If you miss this funeral, if you choose a party over being there when I bury my husband, don't ever call me again. I mean it." Father started. I hung up. If you've ever been abandoned by family during the worst moment of your life, if you've ever been told something trivial matters more than your tragedy, leave a comment below. Subscribe if you want to hear how being left alone at a funeral became the catalyst for building an empire they'll never be part of. Because what happened over the next 2 years changed everything. Daniel's funeral was on Saturday. 200 people attended. His family, our friends, colleagues, people whose lives Daniel had touched. People who took time out of their weekends to honor him, to support me, to show Lily that her father mattered. My parents weren't there. Sarah posted photos from her birthday party that same day. 50 people in formal wear, champagne glasses, a custom cake, my parents beaming in the background of multiple pictures. "Best 30th birthday ever." Sarah's caption read, "So grateful for my amazing family who made this day so special." I saw the posts later, after the funeral, after I'd buried my husband, after I'd held my sobbing 5-year-old daughter who didn't understand why daddy was in a box in the Grux. And, why? My parents had chosen champagne and cake over being there. They'd chosen photos and celebration over showing up for their daughter and granddaughter on the worst day of our lives. Daniel's parents, Michael and Linda, stepped up completely. "We're here for whatever you need," Linda told me the day after the funeral. "Childcare, financial support, just company. You're our family. Lily is our granddaughter. We're not going anywhere." They helped with everything. Watched Lily when I had to meet with lawyers and insurance companies. Helped me navigate Daniel's accounts, his life insurance, the business of death. They sat with me during the long evenings when Lily was asleep and I'd break down crying. They never once made me feel like a burden. They never once chose anything over being there. "Daniel loved you so much," Michael told me one night. "He'd want us to take care of you. So that's what we're doing. That's what family does." My parents sent a flower arrangement. 3 days after the funeral. The card said, "Thinking of you during this difficult time." No phone call. No visit. Just flowers, probably ordered online, probably picked by some florist who didn't know anything about Daniel or me, or why a dead man's wife might need more than flowers. I sent the arrangement to Daniel's grave. I didn't want it in my house. My sister called 2 weeks later. "Becca, Mom told me you're mad about the funeral thing." "I'm sorry Daniel died. But my birthday was really important to me. I'd been planning it forever. You understand, right? It wasn't personal. It was just bad timing." "Bad timing?" I repeated. "Yes," Sarah said, not hearing Gail. The ice in my voice. Like, obviously I feel terrible Daniel died. But my party was scheduled first. You could have moved the funeral. It's not like Daniel would have cared what day it was. "Get out of my life," I said. "What? You and Mom and Dad? Get it out of my life. Don't call me. Don't contact me. Don't exist in my world. You're dead to me, all of you." "That's so extreme," Sarah said. "It was just a scheduling conflict. It was a choice," I said. "You all chose a party over a funeral. You chose celebrating over grieving with me. You chose what you wanted over what I needed when I needed it most. So now I'm choosing. I'm choosing to cut you out completely. You're not my family anymore. The family shows up. You didn't. We're done." I hung up and blocked her number. Blocked my parents' numbers. Blocked them all on social media. Cut them out surgically and completely. I had a 5-year-old daughter, a business to run, a life to rebuild. I didn't have energy for people who'd proven they didn't actually care about me. Daniel's parents became my family. "You can call us Mom and Dad if you want," Linda said 6 months after Daniel died. "We know we're not replacing your parents. But we're here. We're Lily's grandparents. We love you. And if you need parents who will actually show up, we're volunteering." I cried and hugged her. "Thank you," I whispered. "Thank you for being what they wouldn't be." I threw myself into my business. Partly as a distraction from grief. Partly as determination to build security for Lily. Partly as revenge against people who dismissed me my whole life. I worked 60-hour weeks while Lily was in school, spent evenings and weekends with her, built the business during every spare moment. The agency grew. 10 employees became 20, became 40. We expanded services, opened a second office, and landed enterprise clients. Revenue went from 7 figures to 8 figures. By 18 months after Daniel's death, we were generating $12 million annually. I had built something significant, something impressive, something that proved I was capable of more than my parents had ever believed. My in-laws helped with everything. Michael helped with financial planning. Linda helped with childcare. Both helped with Lily's emotional well-being, making sure she knew she was loved even without her father. "Your daddy loved you so much," Linda would tell Lily. "He's not here, but his love is still with you. And you have so many people who love you. You're not alone, sweetheart." Lily thrived despite the tragedy. She was 7 now, bright and funny and resilient. She talked about Daniel often, keeping his memory alive. "Daddy would be proud of you, Mommy," she'd say when I told her about business successes. "He always said you were the smartest person he knew." 2 years after Daniel's death, after 2 years of complete silence from my parents, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Hello, Rebecca? Rebecca? It's me. It's Mom. I should have hung up, but curiosity kept me on the line. What do you want? We saw an article about your company, she said, in the Boston Business Journal. About how you've built this incredibly successful marketing agency. A $40 million valuation? Rebecca, that's amazing. We had no idea you'd done so well. You had no idea because you haven't contacted me in 2 years, I said. Because you chose a birthday party over my husband's funeral. Because you abandoned me when I needed you. So you don't get to know about my life now. We made a mistake, my father's voice came on. He'd picked up another line. We realize that now. Choosing Sarah's party over Daniel's funeral, that was wrong. We're sorry. But you're our daughter. We want to reconnect. We want to be part of your life again. Part of Lily's life. Why now? I asked. Why after 2 years of silence? Because we saw the article, my mother admitted. Because we realized how successful you've become. Because we're proud of you and we want to support you now. Support me now, I repeated. Now that I have a $40 million company. Not 2 years ago. When I had a dead husband and a traumatized child. Now, when there's something in it for you? That's not fair, my father said. We're your parents. We've always loved you. You loved the idea of being able to brag about me, I said. You loved what I could do for your image. But when I actually needed you, when I needed you to just show up and sit in a church and hold my hand while I buried my husband, you chose a party. You chose champagne and cake and photo opportunities. You chose Sarah. You chose everything except me. We're sorry, my mother said again. Can't we move past this? Can't we rebuild our relationship? No, I said. Simply. But we're family, my father protested. Family shows up, I said. Family is there when it's hard. The family sits through funerals even when they'd rather be at parties. You're not family. You're people who share my DNA, and who think you can reconnect now that reconnecting benefits you. That's not family. That's opportunism. Rebecca, please, my mother started. Don't contact me again, I said. I rebuilt my life without you. I raised Lily without you. I built this company without you. You're not needed anymore. You're not wanted. The article you read? That success happened because I had a real family supporting me. Daniel's parents, who showed up every single day for 2 years. Friends who checked on me, clients who believed in me, strangers who offered more support than my own parents ever did. That's who built this with me. Not you. Never you. I hung up. Blocked the number. Went back to my work. 2 days later, they showed up at my house. That's when I found them on my doorstep with wine and gift baskets and smiles. We wanted to see you in person, my mother said. To properly apologize and celebrate your success. And to discuss investment opportunities, my father added. We have some savings. We'd like to invest in your company. Help you grow even more. Be part of your success. That's when I told them to get off my property. That's when I called security. That's when they finally realized I meant what I said. They left, but not quietly. You're making a mistake, my father shouted from the driveway. We're your parents. You can't just cut us out forever over one mistake. One mistake that happened on the worst day of my life, I shouted back. One choice that showed me exactly who you are. I don't make mistakes by cutting out people who've proven they don't care about me. I make smart decisions based on evidence. The evidence is clear. You're not the kind of people I want in my life or my daughter's life. What about Sarah? My mother called. She's your sister. Don't you care about your family? Sarah chose a birthday party over her brother-in-law's funeral, I said. She called it bad timing. She told me I should have rescheduled burying my husband. She's not my sister. She's someone who thinks her party was more important than my tragedy. That's not family. That's narcissism. Now leave before I have you arrested for trespassing. They left. I stood in my doorway shaking, watching them drive away in their expensive car, going back to their expensive house, probably going to complain to Sarah about how unreasonable I was being. I didn't care. I had a daughter to raise, a company to grow, a life to live. A life built on the foundation of a real family who'd shown up when it mattered. Michael called that evening. He'd seen my parents' car in my driveway, and had come by to check on me. Are you okay? He asked. They wanted to invest in my company, I told him. After 2 years of silence, after missing Daniel's funeral, after abandoning me completely, they showed up wanting to be part of my success. What did you tell them? I told them to leave. I told them they're not family. I told them the truth. Good, Michael said firmly. They don't deserve you. They never did. Daniel saw that. He'd be so proud of how strong you've been. How you've built this life for you and Lily. How you've succeeded despite everything. Because of you and Linda, I said. You're the reason I survived this. You're the reason Lily's okay. You're the family that mattered. We love you, Michael said. Both of you. You're our daughter and granddaughter. That doesn't change because Daniel's gone. That never changes. I'm 35 now. My company just hit $45 million in valuation. We have 60 employees across 3 offices. We're one of the fastest growing marketing agencies in the Northeast. I've been featured in business journals, invited to speak at conferences, recognized as a top entrepreneur under 40. My parents see every article, every mention, every success. They've tried to contact me 17 times in the past year. Emails, calls, letters, even showing up at my meal at office once. Each time with the same message: we're sorry. We want to reconnect. We're proud of you. Can we invest in your success? Each time, I say no. Each time, I remind them of the choice they made. Each time I tell them that success built without them is success they don't get to benefit from. Lily is 7 now. She's thriving. Excellent student, loving child, remarkably well-adjusted considering what she's been through. She calls Michael and Linda Grandma, and Grandpa Dad. They're at every school event, every birthday, every important moment. They're the grandparents who matter. Do I have other grandparents? Lily asked me once. Biologically, yes, I said honestly. My parents are alive. But they're not part of our lives. Why not? She asked. Because when Daddy died when we needed them most, they weren't there. They chose to go to a party instead of being with us. And people who make that choice don't get to be part of our family. That's sad, Lily said. Yes, I agreed. It is sad. But we have Grandma Linda and Grandpa Michael. We have friends who love us. We have each other. We have a real family. And that's better than a fake family who only shows up when it's convenient. Sarah got married last year. Big wedding, 300 guests, everything my parents always wanted. They didn't invite me. I wouldn't have gone anyway. But the snub was clear. I was officially erased from their family narrative. They told people I was difficult, ungrateful, holding a grudge over ancient history. They told their friends I'd cut them off because of one scheduling conflict and wouldn't let it go. They never told anyone the full truth. That the scheduling conflict was choosing a birthday party over a funeral. That ancient history was 2 years of abandonment during the worst period of my life. That my success was built without them, despite them in direct opposition to their belief that I'd never amount to much. They rewrote history to make themselves victims. I didn't correct the narrative. I didn't engage. I just kept building, kept succeeding, kept proving that their presence in my life had never been necessary. 3 months ago, my company received acquisition offers. 2 major marketing conglomerates wanted to buy us, offers ranging from $60 to $75 million. I'm considering both, not because I need the money, but because it might be the right strategic move for growth. My parents heard about it somehow. They sent a letter through an attorney. Dear Rebecca, we've learned that you're considering selling your company for a substantial sum. We wanted to remind you that as your parents, we have certain moral claims to your success. We raised you, educated you, provided the foundation that allowed you to build your career. We believe we're entitled to recognition of that contribution. We're requesting 10% of any sale proceeds, or $7 million, whichever is less, as acknowledgement of our parental investment in your development. We're prepared to pursue legal action if necessary to claim what we're owed. We hope it doesn't come to that. We still love you and want to repair our relationship. But we also believe in fairness. Sincerely, David and Margaret Harrison. I showed the letter to my attorney. Can they do this? I asked. Sue for part of the sale proceeds? Absolutely not, she said. They have zero legal standing. Parental obligation doesn't create financial entitlement to a child's adult success. This is a desperate shakedown attempt. Ignore it. I want to respond, I said, not legally. Personally, I want them to understand exactly why they get nothing. My attorney advised against it. Don't engage. It'll just encourage them. But I did it anyway. I wrote them a letter. A long letter. Every word I'd wanted to say for 2 years. Dear David and Margaret, I received your letter requesting $7 million as payment for raising me. Your moral claim to my success. Let me address that claim directly. You claim you provided the foundation for my career. Let's examine that foundation. You paid for my education, which ended when I was 22. Everything I've built after that age. My company didn't exist until I was 30. It succeeded because of my work, my skills, and my determination. Your contribution ended 13 years before my business began. You claim you raised me. You did. You provided food, shelter, education, the legal minimum required of parents. You never encouraged my business dreams. You dismissed my agency as a hobby. You told me corporate jobs were more respectable. You offered no advice, no support, no belief in what I was building. The foundation of my success was built despite your skepticism, not because of your encouragement. But let's talk about what really matters. 2 years ago, my husband died. Your son-in-law, Lily's father. His funeral was on the same day as Sarah's 30th birthday party. You chose the party. You chose champagne and cake over sitting with your daughter while she buried her husband. You chose photos and celebration over holding your granddaughter while she cried for her dead father. That choice showed me everything I needed to know about your values. About what I could expect from you when things were hard. About whether you'd be there when life was tragedy instead of celebration. You wouldn't. You weren't. You valued a party more than my pain. You valued Sarah's wishes more than my needs. You valued anything except being there when I actually needed parents. So here's my response to your moral claim. You're right that parents create foundations. But not all foundations are positive. Sometimes parents teach you what not to be. Sometimes they show you that blood doesn't equal family. Sometimes they prove that the family you choose is stronger than the family you're born into. That's the foundation you gave me. A foundation of knowing I can survive without you. Of building success despite your absence. Of creating a life where your presence isn't necessary or even wanted. You want $7 million for that? You want payment for teaching me through your abandonment that I'm stronger without you? Fine. Died. Here's what I'll give you. Nothing. Not 7 million. Not $7. Not 7 cents. You'll get exactly what you gave me on the worst day of my life. Absence. Silence. A door closed permanently in your face. You're not entitled to my success because you're biologically my parents. Parental obligation doesn't create financial debt. Being related doesn't give you ownership of my work. You want money. Earn it. Build something yourself. Do what I did, which was succeed without help from people who should have helped but chose not to. Daniel's parents have been here every day for 2 years. They helped raise Lily. They supported my business. They showed up when showing up was hard. They're the foundation of my success in ways you'll never understand because you've never shown up when it wasn't convenient or beneficial for you. If anyone deserves recognition for my success, it's them. Not you. Never you. You say you love me and want to repair our relationship. But you only reached out after learning about my company's value. You only want reconnection now that there's money involved. That's not love. That's greed. That's seeing your daughter as an investment opportunity instead of a person who needed you and got nothing. So here's my final word. Stay away from me. Stay away from Lily. Stay away from my business. You're not getting money. You're not getting access. You're not getting the satisfaction of claiming you contributed to success you actively didn't support. You get nothing. And that's more than you deserve. Consider this letter my last communication with you. Don't write again. Don't call. Don't show up at my house or office. Don't try to insert yourself into a life you abandoned. I built this without you. I'll continue it without you. And when I sell this company for $70 million, you'll read about it in the same business journal where you first learned I'd succeeded. You'll know I did it without you. And you'll have to live with knowing you chose a birthday party over being part of something real. I hope Sarah's 30th birthday was worth it. I hope the champagne was expensive and the cake was delicious. I hope the photos looked perfect on social media. Because that party cost you a daughter, a granddaughter, and any claim to $7 million you think you deserve. I'd say that's the most expensive birthday party in history. Enjoy the memories. That's all you'll ever have of me. Rebecca.1. I sent the letter certified mail. I never got a response. 3 weeks later I accepted an acquisition offer. $72 million. I walked away with $65 million after taxes and paying out employee equity shares. I put $20 million in trust for Lily. I invested $30 million. I donated $5 million to a charity supporting families dealing with grief. And I gave $10 million to Michael and Linda. What's this? Linda asked when I handed them the check. This is payment for being my family when my biological family wasn't, I said. For raising my daughter with me. For supporting my business. For showing up every single day for 2 years. For being the grandparents and parents I actually needed. Daniel would want me to take care of you. So that's what I'm doing. Rebecca, we didn't do it for money, Michael said. We did it because we love you. I know, I said. But you deserve to be recognized. You deserve to benefit from success you actually helped create. My parents want $7 million for being related to me. You get $10 million for actually being my family. That's the difference between people who show up and people who don't. They cried. They tried to refuse. I insisted. They deserved it. They'd earned it through love and support and being present when presence was all I needed. My parents read about the sale in the Boston Business Journal. I know because they sent one final letter. We're hurt and disappointed that you'd rather give money to people who aren't even blood relatives than recognize your own parents. We'll never understand how you became so cold and ungrateful. We raised you better than this. I didn't respond. There was nothing left to say. They'd shown me who they were on the worst day of my life. I'd shown them who I'd become despite their absence. The conversation was over. Forever. I'm 35 years old. I have a daughter who's happy in love. I have in-laws who are more family than anyone blood-related ever was. I have $65 million from building a company my parents said wouldn't work. I have a life full of people who showed up when showing up mattered. And I have the satisfaction of knowing that the people who chose a party over a funeral will never benefit from what I built from the grief they didn't help me through. If this story resonated with you, if you've ever been abandoned by family during tragedy, if you've ever been told to get over something that fundamentally changed you, leave a comment. Subscribe if you believe that family is defined by who shows up, not who shares DNA. Share this with someone who needs to hear that. Being abandoned doesn't make you weak. It makes you someone who learns to build without needing people who proved they were never going to be there anyway. Remember, you don't owe success to people who weren't there during failure. You don't owe money to people who wouldn't give you time. You don't owe anything to family who chose convenience over showing up when you needed them most. My parents chose a birthday party over a funeral. That choice cost them a daughter and $7 million they think they deserved. I chose to build a life without them. That choice earned me everything I have. Choose wisely. Show up when it matters. And if people don't show up for you, build something so successful they'll regret every moment they weren't there. That's not revenge. That's justice. And justice, when you build it yourself from the ashes of abandonment, is the sweetest success there is.